The Squid Game cookie has led millions to fail. That scares me. Lately, I've been watching way too much TV. So I thought, what if I tried learning the most iconic skills from everything I've watched to one day impress the girlfriend I don't have? I'll be rating each skill and the show it came from to figure out which one is the most date material. And if I survive all of that, I will be doing not one, not two, but 3 dalgona cookies in a row. But first, let's start with Squid Game started. Dakchi. Dakchi is a Korean game where you try to flip a paper tile with only throwing another paper tile at it. Seems simple, right? No. I found this video explaining the best technique to guarantee a win. I look like I just ran a marathon. That's how difficult this actually was. How does this score on a potential date with a one-day girlfriend? For the score, I'd probably give it like 2 points. It's not the greatest. I'm not gonna rate Squid Games on a show yet because we are gonna come back to it later when we do 3 dalgonas in a row. But first, mushrooms. In the Mario movie, Mario hated eating mushrooms, and I've never touched one in my life. But learning to eat a mushroom is 100% a skill, just like the other ones in this video. I would even consider this one of the hardest. But unfortunately, I can't just wimp out on one bite. I gotta eat the whole thing. I gotta eat the whole thing. But I have no idea even how to cook these things. Like, what do I even use? Can I just put them in the microwave? This is going to be the first mushroom I have ever eaten. I have to eat the rest of the plate. We have to have something bigger.
Now this has to be a mushroom.
This is it. I am going to be brutally honest here. There has been nothing I've eaten in my entire life as bad as that. This is getting 0 points unless somebody pays me $1 million. Jimmy, my email is open. It's a pretty good movie. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I gotta wash my mouth out first so we can. Gum Gum Pistol. In One Piece, Luffy is a rubber boy who can stretch his arm and take out people like this. Big problem, I'm not made of rubber. So I created these stretchy arm using pool noodles and whatever else I had to replicate it. But to move on to the next skill and see if it's great day material, I'll have to hit 3 increasingly difficult targets. Starting with toilet paper. We're just gonna try it out with just the regular pool noodles at this point. Go, go. Toilet paper was easy. Now we gotta move on to this little fella. Now, sit. Come on. Who's the genius that thought I was gonna do this on the hottest days? We still have one more, but now it's time we test this baby out with a moving object. Come on, I need more like oomph in that. I'm not like satisfied. I forgot to throw a hand. That's the best I could do. It did move pretty far compared to where I was up there. So, I mean, I'm taking it. So how would this score to be date material? Look, I'm gonna be so real right now. This is not that really cool. It seemed cool when I was planning it, but now doing it, I felt like a loser. So I'm honestly gonna have to give the skill like a 1. But don't get me wrong. I'm rating One Piece absolute 5. It's so hot out. I'm literally sweating. Thankfully, this next skill we're doing inside. So, card tricks. And now you can see me, we see some of the most impossible tricks ever done. I'm gonna learn 3 increasingly hard card skills to see if they're ranked up to be day material. TikTok says so. First one is the disappearing card trick. I had to look up a couple videos on how to do this. You basically do the Spider-Man motion and put the card on top of your middle finger and your ring finger, and then you kind of just flick it back. Let's see if we can do it. After a couple attempts of trying to get my hands to kind of adjust to how the card should be, and the biggest problem I had was it falling out. But after a couple attempts, I got the shake transition down. But that was the easiest of the 3 tricks, so let's keep this going. I don't know if this next trick has a name, but I'm calling it the Force of Eye. It's where you force somebody to see a certain card shuffling through the deck. The way this one works is pretty simple. You pick a card that you want them to see, put it anywhere in the deck, and the card before that card, you lower it just very slightly, covering it with your hand, so it creates this mess up in the rhythm. Getting the hang of this was actually more difficult than I expected. Trying to keep the cards together with one a little bit out was super difficult on its own, and it was super hard shuffling through the cards without stopping on the one I wanted you to see. I didn't know how difficult it was to shuffle through a deck multiple times. My fingertips are burning, but after a lot of tries, I was able to get it down to a T. The way this works is by placing two cards back to back with each other and then snapping them in such a way that the transition between them looks almost seamless. At first, I was very confused on how I was supposed to even like hide the card behind the other card with only my middle finger. Very difficult until I was able to find this one video of this one guy showing that you actually don't have to kind of line up the cards once again. You just have to hide the other card behind the other card. Honestly giving me a little bit of hope of making this just a little tiny bit easier. It was still super difficult. Now, who knew doing card tricks was so straining on your fingertips? I didn't. And after many and many fails, I think I was finally ready to show you on camera. And to show you this one time wasn't a fluke, I did it again. And again, which means now it's time to rate these on date material. Honestly, all the tricks combined, I have to give it a 5. Yeah, I'm giving it a 5. That was pretty good. Card tricks are some of the coolest skills you could possibly learn. It's a very interesting movie, but I don't know how great it is for date material. And because of that, I have to bump it down to a 3, which means now we need to head back outside to do bubbles. SpongeBob is known for blowing some of the wildest bubbles, and he actually revealed his technique once. Now, that's literally impossible. The other skills in this video are pretty impossible, but this one just seems inhuman. Unless I had to go crazy. I have to go insane. I have to go so hard, then funk music is only gonna get cooler. I love these freaking montages. How do these bubbles score on date material? I'm gonna be really honest here. For skill, it's a 1. It's not that exciting, it's a little boring. However, for the show, I mean, it's SpongeBob. It's getting a 5, but I'm sick of bubbles. Thankfully, we're going to something a little bit more hardcore. K-pop dancing. In K-pop Demon Hunters, they use their singing to fight demons, but I'm here to learn the cool dance moves of the boy band that took over the world. My little soda pop. But I have no dance skills. But to impress a one-day future girlfriend, and also see if this skill is the one I want to pick at the end of the video, that is the best date material. So let's do this. But before we do that, I need to do something drastic. So much better. Give me a little bit more breathing air to dance. And I thought learning the beginning part was the hardest of the entire dance that I wanted to do. Fun fact, it was the easier part. Still wasn't easy by any means, but it was definitely the easiest part out of the entire song. It still took a lot of trial and error to not only just stop being so stiff. I still wasn't that great at it, but I felt confident enough to knowing what the movements I had to do were, which is where I started the other half of the dance. And I was really struggling with this. I thought it was super complicated. I felt like I was messing things up and things weren't right, and my brain must not have been working because I was doing something completely different from what I was supposed to be doing. Never done this in my life before. Don't think I ever will again, unless it is date material. But after tries and tries and tries, I think I was finally able to master, well, all right, maybe not master, but close enough to master the moves of this dance. But now can we combine the first half I did and the second half I just did into a complete dance choreography. Sorry, I can't answer any of them. And that was only 10 seconds of song, by the way. But how does it score as date material? I'm gonna have to give this 5 points. I know, crazy. And for the movie, I actually really enjoyed this movie. I think I'm gonna give it a 5. I might give it a 5. What the? So, One-Handed Reload. John Wick is one of the coolest people with a gun and created the most iconic one-handed reload. Bro has too much aura, but I'm not just gonna try and master this skill. I'm gonna try and create a record of doing it in only 5 seconds. Here's how it works. I'd be scoped in, unload it, and then scope back in less than 5 seconds. I thought this was going to be one of the more easier skills in this video, but fun fact, it wasn't. The mag wouldn't fly out. I was having trouble getting it back into the right position, but after a bunch of attempts, I was able to kind of get it down significantly well. But once I started getting used to it, I realized how easy this actually was, and decided to add on an extra little skill, putting the mag in, which I thought was going to be as easy as releasing the mag. But after fail and fail, I realized this was going to be more difficult than actually releasing the mag. I think I was finally able to get it down for a couple attempts, and this is probably my best one. But the question is, how well does this score for day material? Now, I'm gonna be brutally honest with this one. I just don't know any girls that are interested in Nerf guns. I'll probably give this like 2 points. But for John Wick the movie, yeah, I'd probably give that 2 points as well. It's just not exactly, when it comes to dating, I guess, like the go-to. I'm terrified of what's to come on this next skill. Backwards. In Cars, Mater is able to do some of the most wild tricks backwards, but unlike Mater, who has
rear view mirrors,
I am blind, but I'm gonna try 3 increasingly difficult tasks to master this skill. Hopefully I don't die. Not even joking on that one, so let's make some popcorn. That's not popcorn. You got the popcorn! I thought trying to find the popcorn, putting it in the microwave was the most difficult part of it all. Making sure that it was at the right notch was the most difficult. We did it. Are you kidding me? That's literally perfect. Maybe this isn't so hard after all, but I gotta go back outside, so. But now I have to see how well I can actually climb things backwards, which is actually easier than I expected. I was a little too worried for nothing. However, going downstairs backwards is a whole different story. It was time to move on to something dangerous. There is this street on a hill that has blind spots for people walking across. But now we get a rate meter skill and the Cars movie. I'm giving it 3 points. Let's go! But the movie, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5. So let's move on to Backflip Kick. In The Karate Kid with Jaden Smith, he pulls off one of the most wild kicks ever. And not only do I not know how to do a kick, I don't know how to do a backflip. I even asked ChatGPT once, and they basically said, you're gonna fail, little bro. Great, awesome. There might not be hope for me, but nobody said the final 3 was gonna be easy. And because I'm terrified of the final 3, I had to add a couple rules. For the backflip, I only have 1 hour to try to succeed and not fail at it. And if I fail all 3 of the final 3, I will do whatever the top comment on this video is. Yeah, we're in stakes here. I know, we're getting serious. Please do something legal. At least try. But without stalling, let's do a backflip. I don't know how to do one yet. I was able to find a video to basically help me learn how to do a backflip plus a backflip kick, at the same time making sure that we're optimizing every hour that we have for this. And yes, I did take my shoes off. But going into this, I knew that the final 3 were going to be an entirely different beast from anything we've gone through in this video. It seemed like there was no glimmer of hope for me. Even when I got a move down, I didn't really understand it, so I wasn't able to replicate it again. My phone ended up dying, so I really didn't have a sense of the time, except for looking at the time on the camera, and after more and more attempts, this was seeming to be impossible for me to do. That was until... Oh shoot, I went over. But the question is, how does this score for day material? Because my legs are in so much pain right now, I have to give this thing 0 points. I'm sorry. But for the movie, I'd honestly give it 4 points. It's a pretty good movie, and I could honestly see it being pretty good for like a day material-esque movie. I am so exhausted right now. Thankfully, the next skill we need to learn is going to allow me to rest. Hopefully rest. Maybe not rest. Lucid Dreaming. In Inception, they learn to lucid dream within a dream. Lucid dreaming is basically when you're in a dream, but you know you're dreaming. And before even filming this video, I've been trying to learn how to lucid dream to build up to tonight, where I only have 1 attempt to lucid dream. Otherwise, I fail another part of the final 3. I had to get my coffee in before I did anything. There was no, but for my night of sleep, I was able to not lucid dream. I don't know. I literally just 1 minute I'm sleeping, and the next minute I'm awake.
Failed another one of the big 3, but I still have to rate this thing on its day material.
This is definitely one of the most interesting skills in this video. I honestly give it like a 2. But Inception the movie, guilty. It's a great movie. I really like Inception. I'm gonna have to give it 3 points. I know. It's a great movie. All this means now is that I need to get ready for the hardest part of this video. Dalgona. The one thing I have been terrified to do since the beginning of this video. This is the last chance I have to defeat the big 3. Let's hope I get a good payoff for this video. It's 1 piece down. Easy does it, easy does it. Come on. Yes. Oh my gosh. Another piece. Come on. No. Oh no. Yes. I didn't even make it to the last 2.
I failed the last skill. And it is crazy to think about how little we'll push ourselves because we're scared to fail.
And that got me thinking, what was the one skill I didn't care to fail at? For the past 50 hours, I've been trying to learn and master the skills I have seen on TV recently. There has only been one that I didn't care if I failed at.